Anyone, please, curiosities, Madam again.
To the subject of the war, the current war, I have no doubt that Virginia's sons are going to rise up in great numbers to fight the war. How will Virginia finance her portion of the war?
That, yes, is a very important question upon the prosecution of the war. And of course, as she says, no doubt, the men of Virginia will rise to the fore to fight. So much in numbers that other states trying to get their quota will come to Virginia and fill them with Virginia men. Yes, but how will this war be paid for? Would you care to address it first?
Well, sir, I said, of course, in the Grand Congress, we have no right, whatever, in the Congress to levy any tax, lay any duty, impose any impost. For the raising of troops or provisions, we must do no more than requisition from the several colonies or former colonies. They, for themselves, are only too happy to promise us whatever we request. And then comes the time to deliver. And it seems there's ever some great difficulty, typically a local difficulty which prevents them from bringing forth what is needed. Although I will say Virginia has been the exception. As in the late war with the French, I should expect that Virginia shall lead, that we shall offer more in terms of men and supplies than any other. And that is to be expected, in that we are the largest, the most populous, and the wealthiest of these various colonies. It is going to be most difficult. I should think that our recent independency here in Virginia and the independency that I'm quite sure will be approved of for all 13 of these colonies quite soon will cause all Americans to be swelled with a great pride, and that therefore we will have fewer difficulties in getting these requisitions brought forth.
I think you will find, Madam, that the people far outpace the leaders in the prosecution and the call for independency, and ready stand at the fore to do what needs to be prosecuted. There are already men of great consequence, and I'm speaking of wealthy families as well, who have already come forward with great amounts of monies and promises and supplies, and to show their fervent support in this. I will say myself, and when I share these thoughts, they are collective thoughts that are shared by many others as well. The tens of thousands of pounds sterling that might get cost in the prosecution of this war, for me to live and see a firmly affixed American Union with Western governments settled, and if at the end of it I leave my son but a crust of bread and liberty, I will die a happy man.
But Mr. Mason, I'm afeared that we will leave something considerably more than a crust of bread. And that, sir, is a great mountain and legacy of debt.
Yeah. So
Virginia has but recently gotten very close to retiring the debts incurred in the late war with the French, in excess of 10 years since that conflict has ended. I should hope we would put into place a plan to avoid such. And my thought, sir, and I have not spoken with you previously on this matter, is that we look to our west, to the great opportunity offered by those western lands. And the sale of those lands, perhaps they should be dedicated exclusively, sir, to the retirement of our debt. When you speak of great sacrifice, of course, Mr. Mason, as you well know, our families have for many, many years, indeed my father was a founding member of the Ohio Company.
Yes, and I know.
Which lays claims to vast territories to our west. But, sir, I should think, were a plan to be laid forth that would see to the retirement of all of our war debts that we might incur, I, sir, will be most happy to relinquish any claim I have.
Don't think for a moment that we can yet still stand here with the wherewithal in monies. There will have to be, and believe me, I believe they will come forward, because after all, Virginia and these colonies are the veritable fatted calf. We stand in such riches and such great varieties of clime and soil as to produce not only all the necessaries, but conveniencies and delicacies of life. The trade that is teeming at the shores, waiting to come here. I don't think that yet we will have a difficulty finding either Holland or Spain or France or such an alliance in which they will be ready to sink monies and troops and God's willing navies to help us prosecute this war.
The government,
looking at the good standing they will be at the end of it.
the government of France has already offered up that they are willing to enter into a number of commercial arrangements. As well, they've importuned to my brother, Arthur, who has been meeting with themselves in secret, that they would be willing to offer certain loans at a favorable rate to ourselves. The reason for the secrecy is the King of France wishes not to be seen by his fellow monarchs of Europe of aiding an upstart rebellion against the legitimate monarch of Great Britain. And once we have achieved our independence, and I'm quite sure we'll have word in a few days of that, then this will no longer be a matter for them to be concerned over, for they will now be supporting the independent and sovereign government of America. And then I should expect they will offer us any number of arrangements much in our favor.